Tickets, please, the conductor boomed. Lily and Max clutched their tickets, hearts thump-thumping with excitement. This wasn't just any journey. This was a voyage on the magnificent Titanic. Max, with his trusty magnifying glass, scanned the bustling crowd. Lily, clutching her well-worn copy of Treasure Island, imagined the adventures that awaited. The ship's horn let out a mighty whoosh, signaling the start of their grand adventure. The Titanic was not just big, it was huge. It had more decks than you could count on two hands, and each one was bursting with exciting things. There was a swimming pool filled with bright blue water that sparkled like 1,000 jewels. A grand dining room promised the most delicious treats, and a library held more books than Lily could read in a lifetime. Max, meanwhile, was most impressed by the ship's enormous engine room, a labyrinth of whirring gears and gleaming pipes. On board, Lily and Max met a whole cast of characters. There was Captain Thompson, who always had a twinkle in his eye and a funny story up his sleeve. Then there was Mrs. Peabody, the baker, whose cookies were famous throughout the ship. But the most intriguing character was Professor Phileas Fogg, a quirky inventor who claimed he was on a mission to travel the world in record time. One sunny afternoon, disaster struck. Mrs. Peabody's freshly baked cookies, the ones with the gooey chocolate chips, had vanished. Lily and Max, appointed as junior detectives, set out to solve the mystery. They followed a trail of crumbs, questioned the passengers, and even investigated a suspicious-looking seagull. Their investigation led them through the ship's many decks, each step a thrilling step closer to solving the case. The next day, the ship came alive with music and laughter for the annual Titanic talent show. Lily, with her trusty flute, charmed the crowd with a sea shanty she learned from Captain Thompson. Max, after much encouragement from Lily, showcased his incredible bug collection, amazing the audience with his knowledge of even the tiniest creatures. Even Professor Fogg participated, wowing everyone with his latest invention, a hat that doubled as a tea kettle. One morning, as Lily and Max enjoyed their breakfast of fluffy pancakes, a shout rang out across the deck. "Whale, whale!" Everyone rushed to the railing to catch a glimpse of the magnificent creature gliding alongside the ship. It was a humpback whale, bigger than any building Lily and Max had ever seen. The whale spouted a giant plume of water that formed a shimmering rainbow in the air. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the deck, the wind picked up. The sky, once a cheerful blue, turned a brooding gray. A storm was brewing. The ship tossed and turned, but Lily and Max weren't scared. They had each other, and they knew that Captain Thompson, with his steady hand, would guide the Titanic through any storm. They huddled together in the library, listening to the wind howl outside and reading stories by the warm glow of the lamplight. After a week at sea, it was time to bid farewell to the magnificent Titanic. As the ship docked at the harbor, Lily and Max exchanged hugs with their newfound friends. They promised to write to each other, sharing stories of their adventures. Mrs. Peabody, with a twinkle in her eye, presented them with a basket overflowing with her famous chocolate chip cookies. Back on land, Lily and Max couldn't stop talking about their adventures aboard the Titanic. They had sailed the seas, solved mysteries, made new friends, and created memories that would last a lifetime. As they unpacked their suitcases, they discovered that the real treasures weren't the souvenirs they had collected, but the experiences they shared and the friendships they made along the way.